In 2003, a landmark study was published in the journal Carcinogenesis. Now, we've known plant-based diets rich in fruits and vegetables can prevent development of several chronic age-related diseases, including cancer. But why? Well, the mechanism behind this protective effect is not clear. We know whole plant foods are rich in antioxidants, which are capable of decreasing oxidative damage to DNA, and thus might prevent mutation in cancer. But what about our second line of defense against oxidative DNA damage, DNA repair? We're going to get some DNA damage in our world, no matter how healthy our diet, so it's critical to find ways to upregulate our DNA repair enzymes to better assist with stitching our DNA back together again. So, how about we give people some kiwi fruits, on and off for a few weeks, and see what happens? Why kiwi fruits? Because it was funded by the International Kiwi Fruit Association. You got to get funding from somewhere. First, what happened to the level of DNA damage? Each symbol represents the DNA damage measured in one person. So day 0, no kiwi fruit. The WO means without kiwi fruit. And you can see they start out all over the map, right? Maybe some were smokers or sat in traffic, who knows. But then, here they go on 1 kiwi a day. Then they go back to 0, then 2 a day, then 0, then 3 kiwis a day. Now, it wasn't completely consistent on every day for every person, but you can kind of get a sense that the times without the kiwi fruits, DNA damage tended to go up, and indeed that's what the statistical analysis found, significantly less DNA damage on the days they were eating kiwi fruits. Note that it didn't seem to matter how many kiwis they were eating, though. Right? They seemed to get the same benefit whether they were eating 1 or 3. Kiwi fruits have antioxidants, so no wonder there was less DNA damage. But once you already have DNA damage, can kiwi fruit help with DNA restoration? So this is our first line of defense, right? The antioxidants in plant foods. Now on to our second line of defense, DNA repair. This is measuring DNA repair rates, level of DNA repair off kiwis, on kiwis, off kiwis, on 2 kiwis, off kiwis, on 3. Now, although it appears the 3 kiwis did better than 1 or 2, statistically all 3 kiwi doses appeared pretty much the same, suggesting there's some sort of plateau effect. Maybe there's just some phytonutrient in kiwis that boosts this DNA repair enzyme system, and it's just really a matter of whether or not you have it in your bloodstream, rather than how much of it is there. What would be interesting is if you added a different fruit or vegetable on top of the kiwi, with a whole different portfolio of phytonutrients. Would they complement one another, or would it just be a plateau across the board? We didn't find out until recently. And we'll look at that study in tomorrow's video. To recap, the traditional model of how fruits and vegetables protect against cancer is that their antioxidants prevent the buildup of free radicals, also known as reactive oxygen species, ROS, which would otherwise go on to damage our cellular DNA, membranes, etc., which could lead to the transformation of healthy cells into damaged, diseased, or dying cells. But in that landmark 2003 kiwi fruit study, we learned that there's a second pathway as well. Phytonutrients actually modulate gene expression and can increase our cellular defenses, such that even if there is some damage to our DNA, our cells may recover instead of being irreparably lost. The kiwi study looked at one of those defenses, one DNA repair enzyme, but there are many ways our cells repair our DNA. We don't mess around when it comes to protecting our genes. So question number 1. What effect does kiwi fruit consumption have on all these other defenses? And question number 2, what if we branch out and test multiple fruits and veggies at the same time? You'll remember that there did not seem to be a dose response with the kiwis, right? As far as this DNA repair enzyme was concerned, you were either eating kiwis or not. It didn't really matter how many. But man cannot live on kiwis alone. What if you did a mix of fruits and veggies? Could we break through that ceiling? Now, studies are expensive, particularly if the kiwi people refuse funding because you have the audacity to test other fruit. So they wanted to make this study count. So when they designed their plant portfolio, they went all out. Check it out. Green tea, rosehip juice, berries, 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 pomegranate, dark blue grapes, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, red cabbage, kale, blue potatoes, dark chocolate, walnuts, rosemary, oregano. This study is making me hungry. I don't know if you noticed, but this is that same amazing research group that blessed the world with that study of thousands of different foods, so they knew what they were doing. OK, long story short, plant-based diets can prevent development of several chronic age-related diseases, blah, blah, blah. We know that. Yes, but how, and what about that plateau effect? This is what they did. 3 groups. The antioxidants to the teeth group compared to the 3 kiwi a day group compared to control. Took blood from everyone, and then, for the first time ever reported, did this microarray analysis where you can measure the effects of a plant-based diet on expression of hundreds of different genes at a time. The first to investigate the influences of healthy diets on gene expression in whole blood. This was the study. All right, well, the kiwi group was able to significantly regulate not just one gene, as I showed in the 2003 study, but a total of 5. Meanwhile, the very berry group significantly regulated 5 times more, 25 genes. Conclusion: the observed changes in blood cell gene expression profile suggest that the beneficial effects of a plant-based diet on human health may be mediated through optimization of defense processes. Conquer grapes, we just learned, may block breast cell DNA damage by blocking the binding of carcinogens to our DNA in the first place. Almonds and Brussels sprouts likewise may protect against DNA damage by boosting our own DNA repair mechanisms. There's actually this enzyme in all of us whose sole purpose is to just travel up and down our DNA, patching up holes. As we age, we accumulate breaks in our DNA, actual physical breaks in our chromosomes, which may be one of the reasons we get cancer, why our organs tend to break down as we get older. Now, with the understanding that eating plants protects our DNA, and eating animals may damage it, as I talked about in previous reviews, this year, Slovakian researchers measured the total number of DNA breaks in vegetarians compared to meat-eaters, led by a Dr. K. They counted DNA breaks in both omnivores and vegetarians at 25 years of age through 65. Here are the meat-eaters. As you can see, a sharp rise in DNA breakage as they age through adulthood and middle age. Here are the vegetarians. Now notice 2 things. Not only is the slope much more gradual, less DNA breakage as you age, but vegetarians at age 65 seem to have the DNA of a 25-year-old. In the light of strikingly consistent observations from many population-based studies, there can be little doubt that the habitual consumption of diets high in fruits and vegetables helps reduce the risk of development of degenerative diseases, including many types of cancers. Not satisfied with just telling people to eat their fruits and veggies, scientists want to know the mechanism. Fruits and vegetables are not just vehicles for antioxidants. They contain innumerable phytonutrients that can boost our detoxification enzymes, modulate gene expression, and even DNA repair. Till fairly recently, it was generally assumed that functions as important as DNA repair were unlikely to be readily affected by nutrition, but if you compare identical twins to fraternal twins, only about half to three-quarters of DNA repair function is genetically determined. The rest we may be able to control. It's estimated that on average there are 800 incidents of DNA damage in our bodies per hour. That's 19,000 hits to our DNA every day, and that DNA damage can cause mutations that can give rise to cancer if not repaired. Thankfully, the regulation of DNA repair may be added to the list of biological processes that are influenced by what we eat, and specifically, that this might constitute part of the explanation for the cancer-preventive effects of many plant-based foods. Any plants in particular? Well, 9 fruits and vegetables were tested to see which was better able to boost DNA repair. Lemons, persimmons, strawberries, oranges, choy sum, which is like skinny bok choy, broccoli, celery, lettuce, and apples. Which ones made the cut? Want to guess? Lemons, persimmons, strawberries, broccoli, celery, and apples. Each conferred DNA protection at very low doses. Here's what lemons could do, for example. Cuts DNA damage by about a third. Was it the vitamin C? No. Removing the vitamin C from the lemon extract did not remove the protective effect. However, if you boiled the lemon first for 30 minutes, the effect was lost.